Hey guys, Josh here, coming at you with another work from home series video. Hope everyone's staying sane and staying healthy and staying strong through this. So in today's video, I've been thinking a lot about the attack surface and the threat landscape that's changing with everyone working remotely. So it's really increased the number of VPN users, the number of remote workers being able to access things that are in data centers or in the cloud. And that really changes the threat landscape of what's out there, of how you protect these things. So over the last few weeks, we've run to really get things up and running, and the priority was ensuring people have access. Now over the coming weeks and months, it's really going to be shifting to maintaining that access efficiently, but also securing that access, right? There's a lot of things that may have been deployed that are insecure at this point, that may not be the best solutions, and then updating policies to ensure that we can validate the behavior we want to ensure people have access the way they want, but what they're accessing, the way they're accessing it is appropriate to your company's policies and is secure and doesn't leave you vulnerable. I've been reading a number of different articles, and I can post some of these, but you can just do a Google search for these. It's crazy the amount of stuff that's out there. It's really good stuff, so I recommend doing a Google search on it. But one of the things that kind of led me to is the cybersecurity, actually, Division of Homeland Security kind of has these actions for workforce and consumers about, just some tips and tricks on there, and I'll point to that in my YouTube video as well. But taking it a step further for people who are administering systems is difficult. So there's a number of tricks. Obviously, don't click on certain emails, avoid social engineering, those type of things. But what do you do as a systems administrator, network administrator, or security administrator? What are some of those things that matter to you? And I'm going to walk through some of the things that Xdrop can do. And I may cover some of these in more detail in individual videos, but I wanted to do kind of a spitfire kind of what are some of the things that Xdrop can do to help secure your remote workforce. Split tunnel validation is a big one, right? So what that is your VPN, is it set up for split tunnel, and do you need it? Do you want to be that way? What ends up happening is if you don't do split tunnel, is all your data comes to the data center, and that can lead to bandwidth exhaustion. So, and intentional or unintentional DDoS. So let me give you a scenario. All of a sudden at lunch, I'm watching Netflix or I'm doing a bunch of Zoom conferencing, and I don't have split tunnel on. All that data goes through the data center and then exhausts your data center, so no one else can access critical systems. At Xdrop, we can alert on that behavior in our VPN dashboard. I have a video on that, and then you can see that what's exhausting that behavior and validate. Should I be doing split tunnel? Is it set up? And maybe I missed certain subnets or certain areas that aren't set up for split tunnel. So that's a great use case. Unusual SSH behavior is a huge one. So we can see unusual SSH behavior right on the wire and understand where that SSH is coming in from, what's happening from that. So when all of a sudden everyone's working from home, they're going to be using a lot more secure shells remotely. So when we see something like a secure shell that we don't usually see before, where is it coming in from? What's that behavior on it? What is the individual IP, and what are they SSHing into? So it's really useful to be able to get this information, and have they been associated with other related detections. So it's a really hard one for a lot of solutions on the market to get to. The Xdrop can just bubble up for you. Command and control and data exfiltration are awesome for what we can do. These are extremely hard in today's environment because the great firewall has basically been eliminated. Like, I'm not sitting at Xdrop corporate. You're not sitting at your corporate office. Everyone's worked from home, VPNing and ensuring that you have two-factor authentication. That VPN is obviously big. And then once I do that, what's happening? What am I moving? Has there been command and control, or data exfiltration, or is that just normal remote workforce behavior? And some of the things that you can do to view that are in the Xtrahop UI. You can look at our perimeter detection page. From here, I can see that the accounting laptop here has a detection here, and it's got a bunch of data exfiltration to a known IP out here that's suspicious. And I can look and see from a command and control perspective. I can see that there's the command and control IP out here that we potentially see as suspicious, and the command and control is detected on that, right? So if I click it, I can see it's a potential DNS tunnel, and I can get right to that particular detection. So Xdrop's really good at understanding command and control and understanding exfiltration within your environment. So it's really useful from that perspective. FTP and Telnet and RDP, I have videos on this stuff, but this is stuff that really, in today's modern environments, shouldn't exist for the most part. I totally understand there's legacy applications that use this stuff, but really what you want to make sure is that this stuff is being stuffed in IPsec tunnels when it leaves your environment. And so if you're getting a lot more FTP, if you've misconfigured RDP, I have a video on that, on your edge, and all of a sudden people are RDPing into your environment, that's a really huge threat vector that should be shut down. RDP is already insecure as it is, but if you're opening it up on the port 3389 on an external firewall, that's really dangerous and can allow threat actors to be able to move in your enterprise very easily. We can detect that for you. We can detect FTP and Telnet, which send clear text passwords and usernames in clear text. And then one of the ones I've been kind of thinking about is unauthorized remote solutions. So things like TeamViewer and VNC. So me and you, we start to rock and roll. We need to get people working, or I'm not on security team. I'm developing applications, or I'm on networking, or I'm somewhere where security is not the hugest priority. I'm just trying to get things working. Maybe I set up TeamViewer or VNC or one of those solutions temporarily, and I didn't turn it off. That's a major security threat because it usually avoids it. It's going to skate individual policies you have for remote control of solutions. We can see that traffic and alert on that for you. So if you have TeamViewer, VNC, and other those things running on critical systems, you want to remove those because you don't control that. That goes up to TeamViewer and VNC first, and so they can look at all that traffic if they want to. So it's going to be very dangerous. I get in the short term, but from an auditing and hygiene perspective, we want to shut that stuff off. Scanning and recon is getting bigger and bigger. I would highly encourage you, anytime you get scanning and recon in today's environment, the first thing I'm going to do is scan. I'm going to ping scan. I'm going to do a full TCP scan. I'm going to run Nmap inside your environment if I've breached you. If someone's clicked on a phishing email and I'm able to get into your systems, one of the next steps I'm going to do is do scanning. So if I'm able to understand what's being scanned, why all of a sudden is someone's from a VPN subnet scanning everything in my environment, that's going to be important for me to understand and see, so I can see that this device, when it was discovered, I can see what it scanned, and it's really important to be able to get those level of details in today's work from home environment, right? So it allows you to be able to see what's been scanned in your environment and who's doing that scanning, and is that new? So paying more attention to this in today's work from home environment is extremely important, because I need to do recon inside your enterprise in order to see what's going to be worth attacking. Unusual traffic is a good one. So understanding in today's environment, like working from home, like when I'm accessing something in the data center, what's unusual? I don't usually do this. All of a sudden we have an IP and I essentially have an interactive session back and forth to a particular host. That's a really great detection to bubble up to understand that that's new. It's a newer detection, and it's an unusual way that behavior is happening on the wire. So we can bubble that right up for you. AD user errors, I covered that in a previous video, but that's very useful. Our VPN work from home bundle allows you to stitch usernames to IP address, and also shows things like time skew errors, account disabled attempts, invalid passwords. And so you can be able to bubble up very quickly, is the Active Directory part of the problem that you can't access solutions when they're working from home. We talked about data exfiltration and bandwidth exhaustion. I may cover these in more details in videos, but I really wanted to just go through and say, like, what are some of the things out of the box Xdrop can detect and determine with this massive shift from working from home? And now we can help you secure that now that we're reaching the, hey, everyone's working from home, stuff's running. Now we need to go back and ensure we have the policies and the security set up to be able to ensure that this stuff is running secure and we don't have any massive breaches coming up because we left something misconfigured on our enterprise solution, and all of a sudden people are moving laterally in the environment and starting to use SSH and AD and other things and starting to scan the environment, stuff that Xdrop can bubble up for you very quickly. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.